For those of you who missed this week's episode of the Shadow Spark Unchronicles, here's what's happened. Puzzles, puzzles, puzzles. The party keeps their thinking headgear on as they find themselves in a room with a mischievous imp statue. Bishop checks the door, which triggers a sequence of events meant to unspark the unsparkers. An hourglass appears, indicating less than a minute before something untimely happens. The party reacts, and Justinian plunges his hand into a basin of unknown liquid. Seconds pass, and the party begins getting frantic. Gwynton begins the cadence of confusion by pulling the first lever. The party follows suit and begins pulling levers at random. Marsland, becoming frustrated, starts picking up skeletons and throwing them into the altars of liquid. The party follows suit. Levers begin getting pulled randomly while altars are being drained and filled. The party eventually comes to the conclusion that this is where their adventure ends. Then seconds remain. They hear an impish cackle. Then the door opens. The entire room was a farce, brought by a trickster. The party advances into a study chamber with a mysterious chest. A note declares that reciting wisdom is the key. Bishop, being wise, recites the notes of wisdom that the party has discovered so far in the crypt. The chest opens, and they continue to the delve. As they continue on, they hear an ominous voice warning them to turn back. They rebuff the voice, stating that they must have the book. They find themselves on a narrow platform with a bottomless gorge on either side. The unsparkers pull out a rope and hang on as they move down this perilous corridor. The tension is high as attempts by invisible hands try to pull them into the gorge. Annex, Marsland, and Bishop succumb and are pulled in. However, a quick-thinking Marsland uses magical flight to rescue Bishop. Justinian, in a heroic fashion, uses the magic of Featherfall and grabs Annex, allowing Gwynton to easily pull them up back to the narrow platform. The party moves on. They finally enter a large chamber with 5 sarcophagi. The team spreads out as Anaximander heads to the main sarcophagi in the back of the room. He puts his hand onto the sarcophagus, which summons 5 vicious spirits. The spirits are masters of submission and continually force them into inaction as they beat them down mercilessly. However, the party perseveres, or so they think. All members get up and brush the dust off, except one. Justinian lays motionless on the ground. Please join us every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we continue with the ongoing adventures of the Shadow Spark Chronicles. And as always, we'll see you in the dungeon.